something that you would have read about today morning when you scanned through the papers. That is because the Goa government, after its caseload jumped several folds over the last few days, has decided to give it to its entire population above the age of 18. The idea is that this would help them in battling COVID. It would act as a prophylaxis, which is a sort of a preventive medicine of sorts. The problem though is that the manufacturer of this drug and the World Health Organization warns against using ivermectin as some kind of a COVID cure. So is there wisdom in prescribing this drug en masse to an entire population? Or is this a measure that should actually be replicated across the country? If it's that good, then why shouldn't the entire country adopt it as well? What are the benefits, the pros and cons of the latest drugs to have hit our lingo and the headlines? Ivermectin.
18 years and above, आम्ही प्रत्येक CHC, PHC, R&D, सब सेंटर, डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल, सब डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल आम्ही डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करतले. तो प्रोटोकॉल SOP थंयचे थंय ते डॉक्टर तांकां सांगतले पॉप्युलेशनान हे टॅबलेट घेवपाची गरज आसा. दिस वील बी मेड अवेलेबल इन ऑल द PHC, CHC. आनी हे टॅबलेट्स कशे की एक 5 दीस ते घेवचे पडटा सुरवातेक. म्हणजे बाकीचो लोड जो आहा फाल्यां जर कितें लंग्साचेर बी परिणाम एकदम कमी जाता. अशे सगळे स्टडीज ज्या देशभरात जगभरात आम्ही पळयल्या. आम्ही पयर बी मुख्यमंत्री जेन्ना आमचे कडेन चर्चा केली तेणी सांगले की प्रत्येक मनीस जो टेस्ट करपाक येता त्या मनशाक आमी रिपोर्टा खातीर आमी रावया नाका. आमकां ते आयवरमॅक्टिन आनी डॉक्सिसायक्लिन आसा तांकां स्ट्रीप दिवपाचो आनी पॅरासिटामॉल म्हणजे थंयचे थंय ते ट्रिटमेंट आमी चालू करूं शकता. पण
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, Dr. Shekhar Salkar, oncosurgeon and Chief of Department of Oncology at Manipal Goa Hospitals, joins us along with Dr. Rommel Tickoo, Director at Internal Medicine of Max Healthcare. Dr. Arun Gupta, President of Delhi Medical Council, continues with us. I want to first ask you, Dr. Shekhar Salkar, why ivermectin? Yeah. Why has it been prescribed? For what reasons? Dr. Salkar. Right. We seem to have lost the connection with Dr. Salkar. Dr.
Hello.
Okay, if you could please repeat yourself, Dr. Salkar. We'd lost you there for a second. Yes, please go on.
Okay.
What is the wisdom in prescribing ivermectin for the entire population above 18 years? Yes, sir.
Yeah. We thought the most important part, the positivity rate at the present time was around 50% almost. 50% means every alternate man who is coming to you must be positive man. And Goa is a small population, is around 15 lakhs of population. And if there are out of them, if 50% positivity, that means almost around 7.5 to 8 lakhs of people may be positive at a given time. And in view of this, rather than waiting for all these people, and the death rates also were going high. Almost today we have seen almost 75 people dying, though it is percentage-wise around 1.4. But still, a lot of people are dying in a small state. Is a cause for concern, and that's why we thought that maybe these are we should think of something out of the box. And all of us were of the opinion, especially the government sector, was of the opinion that suppose we give all the population above 18 and other than the lactating and pregnant ladies and above 18, then we may be able to cover most of them in time, so that the cytokine storm which is going to happen in future and which kills the people may be at lesser evil. It will not be at the same powerful this and killing the patients, but at least it will give a little bit of benefit to the patients. Yes, I know there is no scientific data to suggest that. There are some studies which have shown that if you give context, the study on the context was done, and in context those were given ivermectin fare better in terms of COVID rather than those contexts were not given ivermectin. Now taking this far, rather than giving only to contact with 50% positivity, if we give to full population, and ours is a small population, it's not like a Uttar Pradesh or in a big state or Rajasthan or something like that. It's a small state, we can cover the population fast, and maybe even it has got a amount 10% benefit also. The side effects are so minimum that we can afford to, give that much of minimum side effect if you want to save the people. See, you have to understand in medicine, first major
But
thing
Dr.
is cause
Tickoo,
no harm.
Just a second, sir.
Cause
Look, I
no
also
harm.
want to get in
So
Dr.
I think
Tickoo on this because I have some
ivermectin does not
follow-up
cause
questions.
any-
And please pardon me because I'm going to ask these questions purely as a layperson. And every day there are just so many medicines, so many names being thrown at us that it is very, very confusing for most people, and it's also alarming for many. Because when you read the statement of Merck, which is the manufacturer for ivermectin, they
Yeah, I've read
themselves say
that.
there is no scientific basis for a potential therapeutic effect against COVID-19 for preclinical studies, no meaningful evidence for clinical activity or clinical efficacy in patients with COVID-19 disease, and a concerning lack of safety data in the majority of studies. So to put it very bluntly, isn't taking it like taking a placebo?
To see, in medicine, all these things, in such type of diseases, in such type of pandemic, we have to little bit think of out of box. We cannot everything like, so for example, your plasma, your MSV, your tocilin, where they have shown that they are beneficial, still people are using it. Because when you are back to the wall, you have to think something out of the box, and a drug which cannot cause significant damage to anybody. And in medicine, we always see that you should not cause damage. You may not cause, cure, or you may not help, but you should not cause damage. Damage is little minimum compared to the benefit which has shown. We have seen it before that doxycycline, ivermectin combination has helped in decreasing the severity of this. And if you see pharmacology of ivermectin, it has got an antiviral activity also. Little bit, not much, I would say, but it has helped. And it has shown there is sufficient studies now shown in the context that it helps. If it can help in context, why it cannot help in other people? And when one man is positive, we expect that there may be 5 people in the society. We may be positive, but they have not done testing. So with this, we may be able to cover all those people.
Dr. Tickoo.
Yeah.
Well, I would agree
Dr.
with him.
Tickoo, is it like a placebo?
Yeah. See, I won't say that, but I would agree with him when he says that there's insufficient evidence for use of remdesivir and plasma also. But we've been using it. Something is better than nothing. We don't have any specific treatment for COVID-19. But having said that, even in our guidelines, they do say that for mild cases or patients who are under home isolation, ivermectin can be used. Though they also say that there's insufficient evidence for that. So we need more trials on this. There have not been enough trials on ivermectin for COVID-19. In fact, right now there are more than 40 large trials going on in the world. Out of them, 8 trials are going on in India. AIMS is doing a big trial where they're using different doses of ivermectin. So we definitely have insufficient data as of now, but then we can't dismiss it off. And
we can't wait for the data to come.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can use it the way we've been using it.
Because we need to save the people now.
But you know, what
So the paper which has been published by the American Journal of Therapeutics, they have done a comprehensive study. There's this Frontline COVID-19 Alliance, which has actually gone through the literature, 27 studies, including 15 randomized controlled trials. And they have found that there is a significant reduction in viral load, mortality, and time to recovery if used in COVID-19 patients. So we can't say there is no evidence at all, but we definitely need more evidence. We can use it. It's been used in many countries, including India, Bangladesh, Czech Republic, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and even in India, it's being used in UP for many months now. Not only Goa, UP has been using it, Maharashtra, Assam, Bengal, and there's some study, a white paper was published by Dr. Suryakant Tripathi of KGMC in Lucknow, and it was displayed on the website of WHO that it does have antiviral properties. In fact, UP government started using it after that, and they've been using it for more than 9 months, and there's been no major safety concern or side effect till now. So we can't dismiss it off.
So then my question is, Dr. Gupta, sure. So my question then is, shouldn't it be officially put in the treatment protocol? Because like you mentioned, remdesivir and plasma treatment, it's very confusing for a patient. What this does do is, every time we hear of a new drug or a new treatment, it creates a parallel black economy where people are suddenly hoarding or selling these things in black because it is the new miracle drug, as it were, in town. Either we should have all of these formally put in the treatment protocol or specified that this is of no use. Dr. Gupta.
I think as we see in medical science, if there is no specific treatment of a disease, suddenly you'll find dozens of treatment crop up. That same thing happening with COVID also. You see a typical prescription of any COVID suspected or COVID patient, you'll find 12 to 15 drugs prescribed to that gentleman, though we don't have any single medicine which is emphatically proved against COVID. Now we started this argument of these the previous two gentlemen. I could have taken it 1 year back when we were actually we didn't know anything. But 1 year down the line, we are much wiser now. Now we must try to eliminate also. Now we started with a big bang with hydroxychloroquine. Then there was so much talk about plasma. Even today, you see the parents running in there for plasma. Now, once your manufacturer also saying you don't, even down the line, 1 year down the line, you don't have any authentic study. So one must re-look into what we have been doing for last 1 year. That's how the modern science works. You cannot keep on continuing like it. Some unknown kada or some unknown medicine also. You have to re-look into what you have been doing. If there's no scientific evidence, for God's sake, we can stop it for now and do whatever is scientifically possible. We are not using hydroxychloroquine. We are discouraging plasma also. Remdesivir has very limited value, but still you are using so many medicines. Azithromycin is prescribed, doxycycline is prescribed, Ivermectin is prescribed. You have 15, 20 medicine for every patient when you don't have anyone authentic. So why can't we apply some scientific mind and have a courage, even if there's no specific medicine, that doesn't mean you can start any medicine. Have a courage to dismiss, okay, I don't have any scientific evidence against this medicine, I won't using it. Please do it.
Hello.
Dr. Salkar, would you agree with that?
I agree with in medicine, 1 + 1 is never 2. And we cannot wait for long to get a long-term studies on all these things possibility. I agree with him that SCQ has gone out and SCQ, but there are still people who are taking SCQs also. So, prophylaxis also is there. Like if you take day 1, 3, 7, and then weekly, the prophylaxis also has, there are some papers which have shown that prophylaxis helps. Here we want to bring down the death rates in the immediate result. So I think we are trying this new thing. I'm quite sure that maybe 5 days of treatment of all these things, which is not going to cause any damn harm to anybody. It is not going to give him any side effects. It will be less than the side effects of the doxycycline which we are giving to the people. When we don't have the RT-PCR test done on them and if they are symptomatic, we are giving them the treatment without having the concrete proof of RT-PCR positive. Then the 30% of the patients of COVID where RT-PCR is negative, still we treat them as a COVID patient. When we don't have proper evidence of COVID, still we admit
Gupta, you
them.
don't agree, you're shaking your head.
Yes, actually, I think by this justification, I think you can use every drug available at the chemist. Now, if you don't
not everything. We have been using Ivermectin for sufficient period of time, and we have found that it is useful.
But still, after 1 year down the line, even the manufacturer is saying there is no concrete evidence, either preclinical, clinical. There has been no safety data till date. I think when you yourself are not very sure about the efficacy, I think we must learn to eliminate also. Every month we are adding 2 drugs in the prescription. Now the patient are going with 15 to 20 drugs in every prescription. What is the point? You are writing azithromycin also, you are writing doxycycline also, you are writing also, hydroxychloroquine. I think we should be a bit more than qualified quacks here.
We've been using even azithromycin, doxycycline, which are antibiotics. They have no role in viral diseases, but we've been using them. Yeah. And so for plasma and remdesivir, I don't think there's a harm in using unless there are safety concerns. And we've been using it for more than a year now. All of us have been using it, to be honest, and there have been no major issues till now. But having said that, we definitely need more evidence. We can't just go by these small studies which have been done till now. And most of the studies had faulty design. So we definitely need more evidence. But till then, I don't see any harm in using it. Because if we use it in mild cases, it might actually reduce their progression to moderate to severe disease and prevent them from getting hospitalized. And this is a drug which is cheap, widely available, has been used for more than 40 years, and has no major safety concerns. So if we can use the other drugs, which are not actually specific for COVID-19, so why can't we use this? In fact, this has been used for many years, and it's been used for more than a year, and not only in India, even abroad.
I think in medical science, I think the medical science, the opinion vary both vertical and horizontally. Now, everybody has its own opinion, everybody's own experience. Now, there are a lot of studies coming up every day. Now you have to, one have to balance somewhere, and we have to look at some authority, some apex body which can guide us. Otherwise, we can dozens of drugs. So I think once the WHO has said something, and manufacturers some things, and we both are in sync with each other. I'm not saying don't use this or don't use that, but I think one should apply out, because otherwise this prescription will keep on increasing. Every month you will want 2 or more new drugs. We should start also eliminating also, till we do have a concrete evidence. That's what I'm saying.
So let me just ask you one thing, Dr. Tickoo. Is Ivermectin a replacement for plasma therapy, for remdesivir, or is it just another name that has been added to the mix? If somebody is suffering from COVID, will they be given a cocktail of all of this? What goes out if Ivermectin comes in?
Not really. Ivermectin is for mild cases, especially for those cases who are under home isolation. Now, remdesivir and plasma therapy is for moderate to severe cases who are hospitalized. So you can't equate both of these. So remdesivir plasma has insufficient data, and whatever data is there till now shows that it's not effective in reducing mortality. In fact, remdesivir reduces the hospital stay by a couple of days, that's all. And there's sufficient evidence to say that plasma hardly has any role in reducing mortality or severity of disease. On the other hand, ivermectin is something which is an oral tablet, cheap tablet, can be used at home. And if it reduces the progression of the disease, it might actually be a wonder drug. Having said that, there is insufficient data as of now, but then data is emerging. 40 studies are going on, randomized controlled trials. AIMS is doing a study. Studies are being done abroad. Recently, papers have been published that it does reduce mortality, viral clearance. So why shouldn't we go with that and use it on an emergency basis? Even vaccines are authorized for emergency use right now. Even other drugs there's no specific treatment. I mean, there are other drugs like baricitinib, tocilizumab. They're not specific, but they are being used to save lives. Right now, waiting for data, we might actually lose lots of lives. To save lives and to reduce the way there's an exponential increase in the numbers, we have to do out-of-the-box stuff right now.
Well, the primary concern at this point is to save lives. You're absolutely right. At no point judging your or doubting your wisdom, Dr. Salkar, Dr. Tickoo and Dr. Gupta, but there are so many new names and there's a lot of curiosity. There's also panic and fear. Hopefully, you have managed to at least address some of those concerns. For the time being, thank you very much for joining us with your expertise and your wisdom. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.